Welcome to the English news of Binh Phuoc radio, television station and newspaper. Now take a look at our top story as usual. I'm Ngọc Thủy. Binh Phuoc tries to achieve target for 2022. Binh Phuoc upgrades Chon Thanh district into town. Additional social housing units presented to needy in Chon Thanh. Vietnamese leaders welcome Cuban Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz. Vietnam's GDP rise by 13.67% in the third quarter. Foreign investment this month hits record high. The Binh Phuoc Provincial People Committee held a meeting recently to evaluate the province's socio-economic development results in the first 9 months of this year and to set goals for the remaining months of the year.
Despite being affected by COVID-19 and fluctuations in oil and gas prices, the socio-economic situation in Binh Phuoc province saw noticeable developments in many areas in the first 9 months. Units and localities have been called on to carry out stringent measures over the remaining months of the year to obtain annual targets. The leader of the Binh Phuoc Provincial People Committee has requested that the Departments of Planning and Investment coordinate with relevant units to implement Government Resolution No. 11 on socio-economic recovery and development while fostering public investment disbursement, especially national target capital, new rural development, sufficient goods supply, worker attraction, and social housing investment.
A ceremony announcing the establishment of Chon Thanh town will be held in the province on October the 3rd. The ceremony marks significant urban development and socio-economic development in Binh Phuoc.
Chairwoman of the Provincial People's Committee, Chon Thanh, praised the efforts of the ceremony's organizing board and said it is a significant political event for the province. So members of the board must uphold their responsibility, caution, seriousness, and toughness in all situations to ensure safe, successful ceremony. The new town is comprised of 5 wards: Hưng Long, Thành Tâm, Minh Hưng, Minh Long, and Minh Thành, and 4 communes: Minh Thắng, Nhã Bích, and Minh Lập, and Quang Minh. Chon Thanh is home to multiple large industrial parks and has a high rate of non-agricultural workers, at 70 to 80%. Upgrading Chon Thanh district into a town will harmonize urbanizations and industrializations in the province. Chon Thanh town covers more than 390 square kilometers and has a population of more than 121,000.
For social housing units has been presented to impoverished families in Minh Hưng commune, Chon Thanh town. The handover will hold a house of a ceremony announcing Chon Thanh district has become a town which is slated for October the 3rd.
Ranging from 52 to 80 square meters, the construction cost of each house ranges from 80 to 147 million Vietnamese dong. The monies were contributed from the localities following Uncle Ho's teaching fund of cadets and party members. The District Party Committee, the District Women's Union and localities, the Binh Phuoc General Services and Lottery 1 member LLC, the Economic Security Department, the Provincial Police Department, and many sponsors supported the project. Chon Thanh has presented several social housing units to impoverish the families and beneficiaries of social welfare, in order to help them stabilize their lives while contributing to the development of the locality.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính hosted a welcome ceremony for his Cuban counterpart Manuel Marrero Cruz in Hanoi on September 29th. After the welcome, Prime Minister Chính talked with the Cuban guest.
Prime Minister Chính expressed his delight at the comprehensive developments of the Vietnam-Cuba relationship of the past time, including new cooperation developments in the fields of agriculture, investment, and healthcare. Prime Minister Marrero Cruz, for his part, expressed his admiration for the history and achievements that the Vietnamese people have achieved. He affirmed that Cuba always attaches great importance to and wishes to further deepen the special relationship with Vietnam. The two leaders shared theoretical and practical experiences in the construction of socialism in each country. They also exchanged measures to enhance bilateral cooperation in various fields. They agreed on ways to develop trade and investment relations in the coming time. After the talks, on behalf of the leaders of the party and state of Vietnam, Prime Minister Chinh presented the Ho Chi Minh Order to the Cuban government leader. The two prime ministers then witnessed the signing ceremony of cooperation documents between two ministries and branches of the two countries.
Cuban Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz is paying an official friendship visit to Vietnam at the invitation of Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on September 29th. The Cuban guests were warmly welcomed by host leaders.
Welcoming Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz and the Cuban government delegation at the party's Central Committee headquarters, General Secretary Binh Phuoc stressed that the visit will contribute to deepening the special traditional friendship between Vietnam and Cuba. The party chief stressed Vietnam will always accompany the Cuban party, state and people and try its best to support Cuba within its capacity. Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz expressed his thanks to the warm welcome from the Vietnamese leaders and people. He conveyed greetings from Cuban leaders to the Vietnamese party chief. Expressing his admiration for the great achievements Vietnam has gained over the past years, Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz emphasized that the achievements and experiences of Vietnam are an important source of encouragement and reference for his country. On this occasion, General Secretary Chao sent greetings to the leaders of the Cuban party and state, expressing his wish to welcome them again to visit Vietnam again in the time to come. On the same day, President Nguyễn Phuoc received Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz and the high-ranking delegation of the Cuban government. Welcoming the guests, President Phuoc expressed his sympathy and sadness with Cuba over the recent fuel depot fire that caused great damage to the country. The state leader affirmed that Vietnam will continue to try its best to support Cuba within its capacity. Phuoc trusted that the two countries coordinate in implementing dialogue and cooperation mechanisms between the two parties and states, promoting people-to-people exchanges, and that Cuba creates favorable conditions for Vietnamese investors in the country. Prime Minister Manuel Cruz thanked the Vietnamese party and state leaders for the warm and sincere welcome. He also thanked Vietnam for sharing difficulties with Cuba in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. He said there will be some important celebration activities in the coming time, including the 50th anniversary of the historic visit of Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro to Vietnam and the 40th anniversary of the Treaty of Friendship and Cooperation between two countries. At the National Assembly headquarters, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ warmly welcomed Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz and the Cuban delegation who are paying official friendship visit to Vietnam. Chairman Huệ shared with Cuba the losses caused by the explosion of a fuel depot at the Matanzas Industrial Park in early August, and recently the serious damages caused by the storm Ian in the western region of the country. The Vietnamese top legislator affirmed that the National Assembly and people of Vietnam always support the revolutionary cause of the Cuban people and attach great importance to the special cooperative relationship between two countries. Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz expressed his thanks to the warmly welcome given to him and the Cuban delegation. The Prime Minister affirmed that Cuba highly appreciates the special traditional friendship between two countries, which was led by President Ho Chi Minh and President Fidel Castro, and cultivated by generations of leaders and people of the two countries.
Vietnam's gross domestic product GDP grew by 13.67% in the third quarter, according to the General Statistics Office.
The 3 months posted such high growth as the same period last year, which saw the COVID-19 pandemic breaking out strongly and seriously affecting production and business activities. With upbeat signs reported in almost all aspects between January and September, the GDP was estimated to rise 8.83% for the period, the highest 9-month growth recorded in 2011 to 2022. In the context, the General Statistics Office also pointed out that the agro-forestry fishery sector grew by 2.99% in the first 9 months. The industry and construction, meanwhile, increased by 9.44% and service rose by 10.57%. Regarding GDP use, final consumption expenditure climbed 7.26% of the same period last year, accumulated assets rose by 5.59%, exports of goods and services up 8.94%, and imports of goods and services up 4.74%.
Disbursement of foreign direct investment (FDI) in the first 9 months of the year reached $15.4 billion, up 16.2% year-on-year, and marking a record high, a report from the Foreign Investment Department has shown.
The positive figures showed that foreign invested enterprises have been constantly recovering and expanding their production and business activities in Vietnam, FIA said in its report. However, foreign investment inflows into Vietnam saw a yearly decline of 15.3% to over $18.7 billion in the 9-month period. The agency attributed the decline in newly registered capital to difficulties caused by efforts to curb COVID-19 pandemic, which have affected the number of new projects granted license in the first months of 2022. Also, the global market has been facing many fluctuations due to the influence of the geopolitical conflict in Europe, high inflation pressure, and supply chain disruptions. FIA also named a lack of large-scale projects worth over $100 million in the first months of 2022 compared to that of 2021 as one of the major reasons.
That's all for today. Thank you for being there with us and see you next time.